We want justice now. We want justice with our particular circumstance, for our particular trial, for our particular pain. And yes, sometimes the Most High will answer your prayer right away. And sometimes the Most High takes generations.
Sometimes you just gotta vent.
Peace, family. It's your sister Akila again. And once again, I'm glad to be tuned up with you and you tuned up with me. And we're going on a journey today because this past Saturday that just happened, I went to my first protest of 2024. I've been going to protests and rallies since I was very, very little. I am an activist. I am someone who cares a lot about my community and Black people and people of color and any of the people who are oppressed, regardless of color. But specifically my people, I have been fighting for my people for a long time, and I still fight for my people through my actions and through the way I live my life and just my everyday support. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about today is justice. What is justice? What is true justice, right? Some people think that justice means an eye for an eye, and that's real too. Some people think justice means you just wait on the Lord, and that's another form of justice too. However, I believe what the most honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us, which is when you go to bed, justice lays down with you. And when you wake up, justice gets up with you. And so justice is a universal law that the Most High created. So it's not something you can avoid. So when you say, oh man, I can't believe that Black people in America, we went through 400 years of slavery, and white people, they still living their life like ain't nothing happened. We ain't got reparations yet. We ain't got this. We ain't got that. Our people are mentally, spiritually, emotionally damaged for generations upon generations. We're financially damaged. It's so many things. Like, where's the justice? And then you got people who are being killed unjustly every single day. And then you have what's going on in the Middle East. You have all these things, right? And it seems as if it's like, well, where is the justice? Let me tell you something, okay? Again, justice lies down when you go to sleep, and justice gets on up with you when you wake up. There's no way you can avoid the justice that Allah has placed in his universal law of things, which means if you don't get what is meant for you, whether good or bad in the moment, your children will get what you sown. I don't know if that's the right word, sown, yeah. Because they say you reap what you sow, right? So that's the good and the bad. You can't possibly believe that a whole entire people were damaged, put in slavery, stolen from a whole nother country, and forced and tortured and made to work for a country for over 400 years. And you really think that justice is not going to happen? I'm talking about for the small and the large. The large things is like that with the whole slavery thing, but the small things are like what's going on in the community. We, the Black man and woman of America, are the true children of Israel. We fit that description. There's no other people on this planet that fits the description of Abraham's prophecy. If you look in Genesis, you'll see clear as day that Abraham's seed will be a stranger in a land that is not theirs and will serve and be afflicted for 400 years. We are the only people who match that description. But going into the little details and the nitty gritty of the different things that are going on in the community. So that's the big picture, right? But the things that are going on in the community is people like Jovian Motley, who is the person who we were fighting for justice on Saturday. He was a correctional officer, and somehow he ended up dead, being the number 4 correctional officer going into a cell to extract an inmate. How did he end up dying. And the TDCJ, the Texas Department for Criminal Justice, are hiding the truth. They refuse to tell the parents what really happened. It doesn't make sense. If you have 5 of your best going into a cell to remove somebody, one of the 5 of your best somehow gets killed with no weapons on the inmate, something is not right. So we're still fighting for Jovian Motley, but in the meantime, right, what's going on with the justice for the oppressed? And I'm talking about all around the world. You see what's going on in the Middle East. You see what's going on in the black and the brown communities in North America. You see what's going on in Africa, in the Congo, in the Sudan. You see all of these things that are happening with our people. Who is going to fight for the oppressed? Who is going to answer the prayers of the oppressed? Who? The Most High is the person who is going to answer these calls. And guess what? The Most High is already present and he's on the scene. In the Nation of Islam, we believe that Allah appeared in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, whom praise is due forever, and that his throne is sitting on high. What is the throne? We believe it to be the wheels, the mother plane, that great wheel in the sky that this government has been talking about calling UFOs, and then now they're changing all the different names. But it's not an unidentified flying object. It has been identified. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad has been teaching us about these wheels that is prophesied in Ezekiel in the Bible. He has been teaching us this since the 1930s. The Nation of Islam is the first people to even talk about the details of what these wheels are, what is their purpose, and what we need to do in order to be on the side of these wheels and the people on these wheels. And they are black people. So this is the truth. These are the hidden truths, right? These are the hidden truths about justice. You're not going to get away from it. You have people raping women. You have people molesting children. You have all of these wicked things going on this planet. And you cannot fathom the wicked things that are going on this planet. You cannot fathom the depths of Satan, is something that the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad has taught us. So if we can't fathom the depths of Satan, then we also can't fathom the retribution of Allah God. We can't even fathom how he is going to right all of these wrongs. And he will in the proper time. Again, it goes back to the question, what is justice for you? What is justice for me? Justice for somebody might be, I need justice now, in this moment, at this time. But guess what? The Most High operates in a different way. Sometimes he gives justice generations later. Sometimes he gives justice to your grandchild. Sometimes he gives justice to your child. Sometimes he gives justice just down the line of time. And you feel like you have been forgotten. You feel like you have been neglected. You feel like no one has answered your prayers, or no one knows or understands you. You feel like no one hears your cries. But the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us the Most High hears the prayers, the supplements, the cries of the oppressed. He hears all of those things. And so we want justice now, right? We want justice with our particular circumstance, for our particular trial, for our particular hurt, for our particular pain. And yes, sometimes the Most High will answer your prayer right away. And sometimes the Most High takes generations to answer the prayer of the oppressed. There's certain things that we learn, right, while we are waiting, and certain universal truths that we come across when we take a moment to pause and think about what has just happened. In the example of Jovian Motley, he's someone who passed away, and the place that he worked for really didn't do anything for him, didn't take him to the hospital immediately when he was injured. There's so many people who have experienced people treating them like their lives are not worth anything. That's why you had the whole Black Lives Matter movement. The fact that you have to say that Black Lives Matter is actually extremely ironic, considering that all life came from Black life. Without Black life, there would be no matter. Without Black life, there would be no you. There would be no me. So the fact that we have to go back to the basis and the root and say that Black lives matter, you know that all things come out of the blackness and the darkness of space. All things and even all ideas come from a dark part of your mind. Babies are born from the darkness of the womb, the blackness of the womb. So you mean to tell me that we have to get back to the basics of life, the foundation of life, and to say that Black lives matter when you wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for Black life? That is a trip. And so what I say about justice is justice, like the most honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us, lays down with us at night when we go to bed, and it gets up with us in the day when we wake up. Justice will not sleep. Justice is something that comes down the line of time, and it can also come straight to you for your particular situation, but it will come. It has to come because it's written in the God's law. Also, you have freedom, justice, and equality. These are the components that make up the Nation of Islam's flag. The sun, the moon, and the star. The moon stands for equality. The star stands for justice. And the sun stands for freedom. Because all of us under the sun have free will, right? And so when I think about justice and I think about what part do I play when it comes to justice? What part do I play when it comes to these protests? What part do I play when it comes to getting the type of justice that my people need? The only thing that I can think of for me to do is to live my life according to the Most High and to study His commandments, study the things that He desires for me to do as a child of Him, and to teach my child, teach those around me the things that I've learned from the Most High. That's justice for me, because justice to me is also teaching those who do not know. Because if the people perish for the lack of knowledge, which is in Scripture, it's in Hosea, then that means that there's some people who are not teaching. There's not enough teachers. There's not enough people speaking up and speaking out in a way that people can understand, in the way that people can comprehend, and in a way that is going to be taken in. So we as messengers of God, or people who want to give messages and talk to people, we are not responsible for if you accept it or not. We are only responsible for giving the message. That's in the Holy Quran as well. So if all I can do is give you a message, that is me living out the type of justice that I believe needs to be in the world, because it's unjust for people to be ignorant. It's unjust for people to not know the true knowledge of God, the true knowledge of self, and the true knowledge of their enemy. It's unjust for you not to know that God is a man. He's not just a spirit. He is a physical man. In Scripture, there's been scripture after scripture after scripture that talks about how God reveals Himself through men, physical men. It's all throughout the Scripture. And even one of the hadiths talk about how man is made in His image, Adam. And so when we say these things, we're bringing reality and mass to the Most High. He's more than just a spirit, and He's no longer a mystery. So when I think about justice, I think about giving the truth and telling the truth to those who need to hear the truth. I think about how justice is, if you saying you don't want to be used as a sexualized tool, justice is standing in that, right? Justice is covering yourself. To me, dressing modestly is justice. That's me. I'm justifying myself being here as a child of God and showing and actually exhibiting the fact and the belief that my mind is where my value is, not my behind. My mind is where my value is. And so I'm demonstrating that. To me, that's justice. To me, that's justice. There's different forms of justice. And so what is justice for you? Justice could be eating healthier. You're bringing justice to your body by putting the proper foods in your body. All of these things are a form of justice. Justice is not just one way. Just like we fight for people who did not get their proper due because they've been treated like their lives don't matter, we have to start giving ourselves justice. We got to start treating ourselves better. We have got to start acting like we know that His law is final. The Most High's law is final, and that justice is going to be granted. Every seed that is sown, there will be fruit from that. Every seed, good and the bad, there will be fruit from that seed. So we have to watch the things that we think, the things that we eat, the things that we do, because those seeds are going to germinate. And then how are they going to germinate? What's going to happen down the line? How are you setting up things for your children? Generational spiritual wealth, generational financial wealth, generational mental health wealth, generational soul wealth, all of these things. It's not just generational financial wealth. You know how many fools have money? You know how many fools have money? So we have to understand what justice truly is for ourselves and for our communities. Justice is making your communities a decent place to live, cleaning up your community, getting a group of people, starting a business in the community so that we can no longer depend on those who have oppressed us in the past and who do not care about us, who have a history of making money from us, but not putting it back into the Black communities and putting it back into the brown communities, but they're just selling us liquor. They're selling us all these things at the gas stations. You know who I'm talking about. People who call themselves Muslim, people who call themselves good people, but you're setting up shop in generally low income communities and you're taking full advantage of them. Allah's justice doesn't sleep. There's justice coming for you too. I hope your children don't get swayed into the wrong thing. I hope your generations afterwards doesn't get caught up in the things that you're sowing within these communities, right? So when you think about what is justice, I think about all of the things that people don't think about, because sometimes you just think justice is getting a sword, right? That too. I believe in that physical justice as well, but I also believe in spiritual, mental, emotional, generational justice. All that to say, it's time. And I believe that justice is inevitable. I don't think it's something that's an option. I think it's something that is a part of the universal law of things. And I'm someone who, one of the reasons why I strive to put these messages out and to talk to the world is because I don't want to come across as ungrateful. I want to show the Most High that I care about the type of upbringing that He allowed me to have, the type of wisdom that He surrounded me with since I was a baby. And so what am I going to do with that wisdom? I'm not going to sit on it. I'm going to utilize it. I'm going to teach my child. I'm going to teach future generations. I'm going to teach other people's children. I'm going to teach the world as much as I can, because to me, that's justice. To me, that's saying that I'm grateful. To me, that's actually putting my feet where my mouth is. That's actually me doing the things that I say I believe in, that I stand for. So what do you stand for? You know, they say, Malcolm X said, if you don't stand for something, you're going to fall for anything. So what are you standing for? Or are you falling for everything and anything that's on this internet? You falling for everything and anything that they put in front of you, that they tell you to eat, that they tell you to buy. Shoot, Amazon is my best friend. I ain't saying that you ain't supposed to buy stuff, but think about it. Are these commercials, are these advertisements, are they pulling you in and you buying stuff that you don't even need? Come on. You falling for anything, right? We're not doing that today. We're going to make it where we are doing the things that we need to do with intention, intentionally, right? And so I want to thank you. I want to thank you for tuning in. And if you do decide to be a part of my YouTube community, make sure you subscribe and tell somebody, share the videos, because I believe that I can have a lot of subscribers. And I believe that if I just keep on doing it, I will have a pretty interesting following. I'll be doing some music videos as well soon, but that means I have to write some songs, because I write all my songs. Don't nobody write for me. Okay, not my husband, not nobody. So all of these things are coming, but what is justice? You tell me. I told you what I believe justice is. You could put it in the comments. So I also put a video about our protest for Jovian Motley. It's in my videos. I just did a vlog about that. So check that video out. One day I'm gonna find out how to put that little link right here and be like, here it is. You can press the video right here. But I haven't figured that out yet. I'm still a early content creator, and I've been on YouTube for a long time, but that don't mean that I know what I'm doing when it comes to all the technology. All right. So justice is one of y'all teaching me now. I'm gonna look it up on YouTube and find out how to link everything so that in my future videos, when I reference one of my videos of the past, it'll just pop up. So thank you so much for watching. It's been your sister Akilah. Let's change the dynamic of this world, right? If you look at the bio on my YouTube, it says we're changing this world into the world that we desire, period. And that's what we're doing. Assalamu alaikum. Peace.